Mr. Nick, we're always fair here, so I wasn't trying to put I gave you the heads up about this. So
I
but
don't know. Listen, I do this every day.
yeah, we're gonna switch gears, guys. We're gonna talk about Kobe Bryant. 5 years, man, five
Kobe
years.
Bryant, the
The
great.
anniversary. Yep, Mr. Nick is a big Kobe Bryant fan. So the first clip we're gonna play, it's just a reminder of his greatness. It talks about his 81 points that he scored. So yeah, guys. So that clip, 81 points in one game. I'm gonna let the fellas go first that really weren't talking the first half. Vulgar, are you a Kobe Bryant fan?
Yeah, definitely followed. I was a Lakers fan because I followed the Bulls in the '90s, and when Jordan retired, and I don't know why his name left my mind now. The coach
Phil
went
Jackson.
to Phil Jackson went to LA. I just pretty much just followed, and then Kobe came in the game. So when I would watch basketball, I had to watch my Lakers. So, yeah.
Okay, I think we all have that in common. Okay, we're finding common ground. Gray, were you a Kobe fan?
Yeah, absolutely. I like the Lakers. I mean, Kobe, of course, is in the GOAT talk of him, Michael Jordan, and LeBron. And me in high school, when people would shoot on you, everybody would say Kobe. So they say when your name is synonymous with something, like how Pampers is synonymous with diapers, that means you're basically in control of the industry. So Kobe definitely is like one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
All right, and I think the two guys on the chat that were going at it, I think they have this in common. K Dot, who is your favorite player? Who's your favorite team of all time?
My favorite player of all time is Shaq, but I am a diehard Lakers fan, been for a long time, and Kobe is my man. Been following him since he was number 8 when I was a kid. So case the only famous person, the only person I've ever not known in my entire life, that when he did unfortunately pass away that day, I was actually saddened by that. Um, no other celebrity ever like actually hit me. It's sad to see, when you grew up Michael Jackson, all the guys you grew up with passed, but like Kobe was the first one that actually made me sad because like I had just been watching him for 30 years, 30 plus years of like, you know what I mean? So, or like 20 plus years of my life. And yeah, so yeah, Kobe's the man. But yeah.
Mr. Nick, I know you're a big Kobe fan.
Big
Let
Kobe.
everybody know what Kobe felt, who he was to you. We'll talk about where you were at when he passed in the next clip, but tell me what he represented to you because I know you're a huge fan.
So Kobe is 2 years older than me, and to me, my connection was with him as he was 2 years older, and I started my career about a year after he started his career. He had ups and downs, obviously, with all the rape stuff and all that crap. And I was going through some hard times, so I kind of felt more connected with him because I saw
Mhm.
him grow as I was growing. He was never, the Mamba mentality, no excuses. I don't think I missed any games when he was playing, and I was obviously a diehard even before. Even Magic, when Magic used to play, even though I don't remember Magic's whole career, but I remember the Twilight going 91 against the Bulls and stuff like that. So I was always a diehard. But Kobe to me is the last generation of the true, go to the game that they get drafted somewhere. They're going to stick
Mhm.
out until, even no matter how hard it is to win, they're going to stick it out from beginning to the end. They're going to play every game, no nights off, no back to back, none of that. He's going to make it matter. So a lot of his values and principles and the way he treated the game, all that
Mhm.
stuff really resonated with me a lot.
Yeah. And something that I learned about Kobe is he was one of the only players in history to learn the referee like guides and like
The
how
rules?
they, yeah, the rules. And
Yeah.
because someone asked him about that and he said because he wanted to be the best and understand everything about the game. So that really shows about his, his work ethic like you said. I'm going to play this clip about him being a girl dad and then we'll get into where we were all at when we heard the tragic news.
Anecdotes about Kobe Bryant. So here's mine. I met Kobe one time backstage at an event for ESPN in New York, and I saw him and I thought, oh my gosh, that's Kobe. I got to get a picture for the gram. That's the picture. I didn't get it for a few minutes because as I approached him, he immediately commented on my rather large 8-month pregnant belly. How are you? How close are you? What are you having? A girl, I said, and then he high-fived me. Girls are the best. I asked him for advice on raising girls, seeing as though he quite famously had 3 at the time. And he said, just be grateful that you've been given that gift because girls are amazing. His 3rd daughter, Bianca, was about a year and a half old at the time. So I asked if he wanted more children. And he said that his wife, Vanessa, really wanted to try again for a boy, but was sort of jokingly concerned that it would be another girl. And I was like, 4 girls, are you joking? Like, what would you think? How would you feel? And without hesitation, he said, I would have 5 more girls if I could. I'm a girl dad. When it came to sports, he said that his oldest daughter was an accomplished volleyball player and that the youngest was a toddler, so TBD. But that middle one, he said, that middle one was a monster. She's a beast. She's better than I was at her age. She's got it. That middle one, of course, was Gigi. When I reflect on this tragedy and that half an hour that I spent with Kobe Bryant 2 years ago, I suppose that the only small source of comfort for me is knowing that he died doing what he loved the most, being a dad, being a girl dad.
I got to know him more as his daughter was getting older, as his family's growing, and her love of basketball. And
I think we're all girl dads on the phone except for me. Everybody has girls here. So I think it was really amazing as a mom of a little girl and that plays sports, how he said that, because in a time where I know you ain't gonna agree with me, Vulgar, but women are under attack, he still protected his daughter. He put his daughter up. He was helping her play sports. He was happy to have girls. Mr. Nick, as a girl dad yourself, what do you think that says about him, and what's your thoughts about his passing and where you were at the time?
I was in my living room. Obviously, this was pre-COVID, January 26th. And I was in the living room, and I don't remember what channel it was. I don't remember if it was Fox or ESPN. And, you know, the thing that it was first, they didn't confirm it. They said a plane went down. They thought Kobe Bryant was in there. Then you start making calls, and then 20 minutes or 30 minutes later, they confirmed it. I never met the person, but I've never been like heartbroken like that, like ever, by someone I never met. And when you're from LA, there's 3 things that affected you in your life. One, when Magic said he had AIDS, it stopped the world. When Tupac died, and Kobe. Those are people from LA. Those are 3 things that people from LA will all agree on that really changed LA and really stopped LA. And that was a really big deal. We actually, me and a bunch of my friends, we went straight to the Staples Center where they had like a little thing. People were coming, flowers and jerseys. But yeah, I mean, he never cheated the game, right? He played, and even when he couldn't win, you know, he still stayed, even though he was getting offers everywhere. Got Gasol, went to another run, and then, you know, went to that Boston team, Orlando team, all that stuff. And even his last year of his last good career, when he tore his ACL, that was the end of Kobe. The 17th year, he was actually having a really good year. They were limping into the playoffs, but they looked okay. It was the last game against the Warriors. And I knew it, the way he got up, because I've seen every second of this guy play. And the way he got up, I'm like, no, this is not good. He made the 2 free throws. He walked off. After the game, they confirmed. And then I was like, that's it. It's done. And then a year recovery. And then he played his last 2 years. And I went to his last game against Utah where he had 61. And I was like, I can't even explain to you the insanity that game that we had, because I guess it was the highest scoring game by a last game by in any sport or basketball or anything. And we weren't going to the playoffs or anything. We were out of the playoffs, but
Yeah.
it was just, you know, it was like a Kobe moment. We were down 12 in the 4th. He took over, you know. I've traveled. I went to New York to watch Lakers. I went to Boston, talking about the Lions then, you know, against the Celtics, and they feared Kobe. You know, when we had Kobe, they feared him. I mean, the NBA today is not the same.
No.
Completely different. They're having issues, 50% less rating. We can talk about that a different time.
Right.
You know, but I, you know, that era of basketball, again, no one cheated the game. He never really talked politics, right? He never talked about real social issues. I don't know if you got that from Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan was, when it came to thing, because his thing was Republicans buy sneakers too, right? Everybody remembers that. I do like my athlete to kind of
Be
not take
neutral.
positions.
Yeah,
You
I got
know,
you.
that's what
So
made me disconnect from
mhm,
the Lakers with LeBron a lot.
true. So Vulgar, what's your thoughts on him being a girl dad? And where were you at when you found the news? I know you're not on the West Coast, but I know, as a NBA fan.
Oh yeah. No, I have no problem with. Like I said, I'm a girl dad,
Yeah.
and I love my girls. I just show it differently. Um, but no, I've always respected that about him, that he respected his girls and had them with him. And then it was really sad that one died with them. That's really what touched me, because I would hate to go with my daughter, or I wouldn't want either one of them going before me.
Right.
So for his
True.
wife to have to deal with that, that had to be really heartbreaking. I was actually in Atlanta at the time, and I was out working. I'm a workaholic, so I was out working, and my roommate sent me a text like, "Have you heard?" I'm like, "Heard what?" And I'm saying Kobe just died in a helicopter crash. It was just unbelievable. So I didn't watch sports maybe as much as some of y'all, because I'm always tinkering with some business or working. So I would watch the playoffs. The last playoff I remember was with them and the Celtics. It had to be '09 or 2010. It was a really big series that they ended up pulling out and
7 game
winning.
series, yeah.
Yeah, yep. So
Wow.
that was the last one I watched, and I was rubbing it in on the Celtics fans.
Cool.
But yeah, that that was my memory, and then all the stories about him and Shaq, and how lazy Shaq was as a player.
Okay, I might
No
not
smoke
agree
to
with
you, K
that.
Dot, but you gotta admit it though. And he was good, but that was their beef, is that Kobe was like you said, studying the refs, studying the
Hmm.
game, studying the opposite team, and Shaq just like, I'll be there when I'll be there. So I can kind of see how that conflict happened between them two.
Gray, I think I texted you and told you when he passed. You remember that?
Yeah, I think you probably did.
Yeah.
Being a girl dad, if I have any more, I don't want any more girls. I want all boys. Um, as far as like the Kobe passing away, I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I haven't had that celebrity connection yet, where like I felt an emotional response to something happening to someone that's famous. I mean, it's like for me, that person would be Lil Wayne. Maybe if Lil Wayne passes away, I'll have like an emotional response. But I haven't had the celebrity connections, so I can't honestly tell you where I was at or what I was doing. I know it was on the news, and I just kind of just went on about my day. I was like, wow, that's crazy that's happening. Of course, it's a sad story, especially as a child involved, but it was just
And
like,
9 other people. I think it was 9 or 8 other people.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I
Yeah.
know people were mad about that too, that they were talking about the other
Yeah.
people. Kobe begged for
Mm.
them to go up, and like all the drama around it. Then you had the police take pictures of the
Yeah, I'm gonna
bodies.
talk
Like,
about that.
okay, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
K Dot, where were you at the time, and how does it feel to be a girl dad?
Being a girl dad is great. Um, and I have 2 kids. My daughter, she's older. And it's been great. It's different. You know what I mean? I grew up with all brothers. I don't have any sisters. Just my mom. You know what I mean? So, learning like a little girl's world and how they think and do things has been a welcome challenge, and I love every moment of it. And now I have a son, and you know what I mean. And I'm good. I'm good on the no more kids, but yeah,
Same.
being a girl dad is fantastic. And I was standing in my living room, and my mom texted me, and she said, "Did you see?" It was an error, and she was like a typo, I guess, autocorrect or whatever. She says,
Mhm.
"Did you see that or maybe she typed the wrong, like hit the wrong letter. She said that Kofi died. And I was like, Kofi? And I'm thinking to myself, like, do I know, because somebody at her work, she works with, a lot of people, she's in the medical field. So, and I knew a lot of her coworkers because she had been working the same place like 20 plus years. And I'm thinking like, no, we know what Kofi. She said, no, Kobe. And I was like, what? I turned on the news and there was the footage, TMZ reporting, and like, finally the footage came up, I think like the next day or something like that of the plane crash, or even that day. It was like, it says 5 years ago, but I remember standing in my living room, flipping through the news and finally getting the reports because I'm refreshing Twitter and refreshing Facebook, wherever I can find to see if this was like a rumor or whatever. And and like I said, what Gray had said, it was the first time like when it got confirmed that like I was honestly sad that somebody I didn't know, a celebrity that I had a connection to all of my life, all the moments, the ups and downs, the Smush Parkers and the Kwame Browns to the highs going against the Celtics and beating Boston and beating the Spurs and going against the Kings and just all those great teams, man. And just, just all the stuff you do as a sports fan. And it was heartbreaking in that moment, man. That was a really tough week for me to like understand that and be in that mindset, because like I said, it was just like, he was somebody you wanted to be on the court. You emulated him. You called his name out when you shot from a basketball to a piece of paper into the trash bin. So it was just like, it was different, but yeah, it was tough. Mm-hmm.
It was. And then I think for me, the most disgusting part is the clip I'm about to play, what they did with the photos. And I'll play this now.
It's Taco Tuesday at the Baja California Bar and Grill in Norwalk, 2 days after the helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others.
A source confirming to ESPN that NBA legend Kobe Bryant has died in a helicopter crash in Southern California.
Talk at the bar turns to the crash. LA County Sheriff's Deputy Joey Cruz, seen here in the white T-shirt, takes out his phone. On the phone, graphic photos of Kobe Bryant's remains from the crash site. After Deputy Cruz leaves, the bartender tells a group of regulars sitting in this booth that Deputy Cruz has just shown him the gruesome photos. Ralph Mendez, there that night with buddies from his softball league, describes what he heard from the bartender.
He has pictures. He showed me pictures. Pictures of what? Pictures of all the dead bodies. And then he began describing what he saw. They were all burnt, and he got very graphic with it.
Mendez says the bartender told him that Deputy Cruz laughed and found the photos amusing. Mendez hoped none of it was true.
It just sounded bad. It just sounded wrong on different levels, whether it's illegal or not, whether it's against, his sheriff's department's policy. I don't know, but it just sounded bad. Like, say something bad.
Mendez did say something, submitting this complaint that night with the LA County Sheriff's Department.
And I thought to myself, if I don't say anything and it is true, I don't think I'll ever be able to live with myself.
Mendez says he thought that night of his own pregnant fiancée, then expecting their first child together, a girl. The soon-to-be dad saw a role model in Kobe, a father of 4 girls.
He loved his girls. You could see it in his face. His girls loved him, and he's a girl dad, just like I am now.
There were 3 daughters on board the helicopter that day: Gianna Bryant, Alyssa Altobelli, and Peyton Chester, all on their way to a girls' basketball tournament. When news first surfaced that deputies and LA County firefighters shared grim images from the crash scene, Sheriff Villanueva had this to say.
It's wildly inappropriate, it's disgusting, and it harms people that suffered a tragedy already. On top of that, to think that it could be expanded beyond that by having a public display of their loved ones' remains. So we're trying to put an end to this.
Vanessa Bryant and the other families who lost loved ones that day filed lawsuits over the sharing of the photos. 2 families have already settled for a combined $2.5 million. But Vanessa Bryant is heading for trial, possibly late next month. Attorneys for Vanessa Bryant say gruesome photos of Kobe and their daughter Gianna's remains were passed around to at least 28 L.A. County Sheriff's Department personnel and at least a dozen firefighters. Then L.A. County Fire Captain and spokesperson Tony Imbrenda allegedly showed photos to colleagues during cocktail hour at a Golden Mike's award ceremony weeks after the crash. He was demoted and transferred. Fire Captain Brian Jordan retired in lieu of being fired, and Fire Captain Arlen Cahan was suspended for 30 days with no pay. Attorneys for the county argue that Vanessa Bryant's claim of emotional distress is based on, quote, hypothetical harm because the photos were not publicly disseminated. In her deposition, Vanessa Bryant testified that for the rest of her life, she will live in fear that these photographs of her husband and child will be leaked and made public. What she wants out of the lawsuit, she says, is accountability. According to court documents, only one of the sheriff's deputies, Joey Cruz, seen here at his academy graduation,
Joey Cruz,
was disciplined. Other deputies received no discipline, but instead received what's known as a performance log entry in their files. As for Ralph Mendez, who triggered the investigation with his complaint about Deputy Cruz at the bar, he has no regrets.
I feel sorry for the families. I really feel bad, and I wish this wasn't happening. My prayers are all with them. And yeah, I hope justice is served in all of this. I do it all over again. I just think it was the right thing to do.
Definitely the right thing to do. And just to fast forward, Vanessa Bryant did win her suit against the LA County, $16 million she was awarded. So shouts out to her. I think the thing that was saddest to me is there was a human aspect to this. Little girls died. He died with his daughter. No one wants to go with their kid before their kid, I should say. That, the plan is to always go after. So, Vulgar, what do you think about her suit? Do you think she deserved it? What are your thoughts about them showing the pictures?
Oh yeah. I didn't know about this, but yeah, they shouldn't have been passing stuff around and showing. You got to have more professionalism than that. And the fact that she found out about it, yes, she is well deserved. She should have got that.
K-Dot, what's your thoughts? How would you feel if that was done to your loved one? I'm sure you'd feel very passionate about it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't think they paid enough. I think it was super disrespectful to take pictures of people. And laughing about it and spreading it around like that. There's children involved, and even if not, it's just these are people's loved ones. There's family. It's unfathomable that you would chuckle at these people's untimely, death, and that man shouldn't be allowed to secure a mall, much less be a police officer anywhere else now.
Gray.
I think in the age of social media and the internet with public figures, because once you're famous, you're a public figure, we're completely desensitized to that these are like real people. And even though I'm not a Trump fan, I use Trump as an example. When they tried to unalive Trump, like the people were saying, oh, it should have happened, this, and that. Like it was jokes everywhere. People are completely desensitized to human life if you're a celebrity figure. Like, so you're just an object at a point. Even a president or someone running to be a president is just looked at as an object, as somebody for the public to look at and talk about.
Mr. Nick, you're there in the heart of LA. Did you hear any rumors or anything you want to add that the clip didn't add about what happened with, the pictures or what have you?
I think the only part that we didn't hear is that they were trying to sell them to TMZ. I'm pretty sure that was a thing. And I don't know if someone stopped it, or I don't remember if Shaq was involved or someone bought it. There was something there to it. And in that area, because I believe it happened next to Calabasas,
right?
Celebrityville.
Right.
So there's people that take pictures. Yes, it's disgusting to have them in your phone, shop them around. What I would like to see, instead of them paying money, I would like to see people get prosecuted and send a message, and be like, you lose your job, go to jail for 6 months. I don't know. I think that sends a stronger message, because we do have a problem in this country with taking pictures, no matter what they are, of people and posting them online and stuff like that. That's the current state we're in.
Mr. Nick, were people I heard a rumor that people, because they were on the ground for a while, is that true that they did get pictures of them? That's the rumor I heard. I don't know
if it was just cops.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was regular people. That's the rumor I heard.
Because
they found it first. Right.
Correct. I think, they called it in. And there was a lot of people there, and a lot of people taking pictures, and a lot of people shopping them around and seeing what they can get, what they cannot get. Now, maybe some of those people after they first thought it, maybe regret it, because you are in LA and
Mhm.
and Kobe is king of LA, and you
Mhm.
would piss a lot of people off here if everybody found out who it came from or what. It wouldn't go well, with people here. But yeah, that's very very sad to see, that. But I'm not surprised, due to the current climate that we have in this country with pictures and dead bodies and celebrities and catching them in weak moments or whatnot, trying to
Mhm.
catch out.
Okay, so we're gonna go around. We're gonna say some closing thoughts. I think we have more commonality than we do differences, and this shows in this story. Mr. Nick, as you were our guest, what's your closing thoughts on Kobe? And thank you again for coming.
Again, to me, Kobe was, like someone you never knew, like an older brother. You looked up to him because he showed up at every game, no excuses, Mamba mentality, true winner, family man, above all. Even though he did some wrong, he still made sure to, however, make it work with Vanessa. And he was a girl dad. My wife bought me when my first daughter was my only daughter, but my first child was born. She bought me girl dad because she knew what I thought about Kobe and being a girl dad. And then came two boys after, right? But he is right. Girls are the best. They are, easier than boys for sure.
I don't know about that. Boys are
For
easier.
sure, for but he's an LA staple. He's an icon
Yeah.
here, and to me, I'm waiting for my sons to get a little bit older, to show them, highlights, all these things, and it's very interesting his personality, because he only became the Mamba once the rape allegation and everybody was going against him. Because you have to understand, he was getting booed in LA after Shaq left. So here, this is the climate, right? Shaq was the big brother superstar that came to LA. Kobe was the new drafted young gun, right? In the first year, he wasn't great, and then by the first final, second, third final, his numbers were the same as Shaq. So he started looking Shaq straight in his eye, like, dude, you're winning just as much because of you as with me. Shaq didn't like that. And then they went against Detroit in the finals, and they already had problems. Kobe didn't pass the ball to Shaq because he said, "You keep coming out of shape. You don't take this seriously." Shaq leaves to Miami. They win a championship, right? Now we're thinking, did we make the right move by keeping Kobe, right, in LA? And he became a villain. A lot of people forget that. People didn't like that Shaq left. People didn't like the rape thing. And then that's when he put the Mamba mentality out. When he went on a tear. I think it was like almost a month and a half of averaging 45 points, something like that, crazy. And then they rebuild, and people forgave him, and slowly, and then the love, and then when he became 24, and the love just grew just as much because he's human. He's just like us, right? He makes mistakes, but his mistakes, everybody can see it. So to me, that's what I'll take from him: his hard work, his values, his principles, being human, vulnerable, and being a family man above all.
Yes, facts. Yes. Vulgar, what's your closing words as we celebrate this 5th anniversary of Kobe's passing?
I think we lost a great one.
Mm.
His ethic on the court, his ethic off the court, his ethic as a father, and putting his kids first. For him to have games and then maybe leave some of the games and go see his daughters if they had performances or getting them to school and things like
Mhm.
that. I think he was a great example, a great leader. Uh, I feel like we need him now. We need somebody like that now. We need more people like that. And those are
Facts.
some of the things that I took from him as being a girl dad. I wish I could have some more of those experiences like he do. My oldest is grown and in college. My
Mhm.
youngest, she's 9, and I'm striving to maybe have the next 9 years with her like that. I didn't get a lot of that with my oldest, but yeah, definitely lost a legend. And lastly, I hope that Israel and the conflict, that there's some middle ground found that people can unify and maybe live in peace. I hate to see that people have to go to sleep and not knowing if they're going to wake up to what we call the 4th of July because we're safe over here. It's kind of sad to hear and see, but I hope something comes of that and that Trump comes through with his word and figure it out. Peace to the Middle East.
Yeah, and Volga brings up a great point. Everybody with kids, time is precious. Spend time with your kids, especially your girls. Girls need their fathers. Gray, what's your closing words?
Not to age myself, but I remember I was in high school and I went to this girl's house. I don't know if she was as big as a fan as Mr. Nick, but her whole room was like full of Kobe. She was like rich, and she was like, "Yeah, we went to the game, and like they would boo him, and then he would play harder. Like when he got booed when he was going through the whole rape allegation stuff." So, I get with that. I always thought about that when I say, "Oh well, Kobe pushed himself through this adversity." And I remember a story what Shaq told, because I remember when Kobe got caught, he also told on Shaq about cheating on his wife, and he kind of ruined Shaq's marriage. And so they wouldn't talk to each other; they'll play against each other when Shaq played for the Heat. But it was Martin Luther King Day, and Shaq said, "Okay, any day but today, we go get along." He came up to Kobe and shook his hand. So for Kobe, the death of Kobe being so close to Martin Luther King Day, I think it shows, people can get along and stuff like that. And him and
Facts.
Shaq squashed it. Yeah.
K Dot, before you say your closing words, let everybody know where, like, because you're about to do your live, right? On TikTok.
Yes.
Let everybody know about your live and let's promote it because we'll make sure we do that every week too.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes. So if you guys want, you head over to TikTok about 9:30. I am at dem_K.DEM_KDOT. I'm going to do a little recap of what we talked about here. Let the people know where to find the new party. Get the so we can get everybody, take it in the show, take it in information. I think we do a great thing here. And if you guys want to come over, I know TikTok has a little more room for the people in the audience. If you want to ask questions, come up, share your thoughts. I like to do that as well. So everybody's welcome. If you're watching right now, you want to come on over to TikTok at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. That's where I'll be streaming and doing a little bit of recap, also talking about some other stuff with Trump and his 200 crazy ass executive orders and diving into that as well. So please come on over. But my final thoughts is Kobe is a man. Love watching him every chance that I got. Unfortunately, I was always too young to get to a game. And then when they come out to the East Coast as a young man, I was always a little too broke to afford them tickets the way I wanted to. I should have just bought some nosebleeds back in the day. But, I am going to a Lakers game this week. I'm going to see Bron play the Sixers. So, I'm going to see that. Go to see the King before that. But as far as Kobe goes, man, it was heartbreaking. And watching him win and the trials and the triumphs that he had going through his career with the Shaq and all the other things that he faced, I think he became, a shining light of what it is when you make mistakes and put yourself in a situation you don't have to give up, and you can persevere and be the better version of yourself, regardless of where you came from. But the only loss Kobe ever really did take is in a rap battle because Shaq is a better rapper than him. And I'll leave it there. Yeah.
I want to shout out to everyone watching. Again, we are the new party. We believe in having these tough conversations. So thank you to Mr. Nick and thank you to K Dot. I know it was really hard to have, but they are important conversations. So I'm really glad we were able to have that and have the opposing sides. Also, I am having a fun thing on Saturday. Come back at 5 p.m. I'll be talking about Blake Lively again. I have lots of updates to give. No politics, all entertainment. We bring our flowers and let our hair down and we have fun. Gray, what's your closing words?
Volga
don't forget the
has
man party, the man cave. Sorry.
Volga has the man cave on Mondays, and Mr. Nick has basically become a regular on the show. I don't know if this is 4th or 5th show, but we've done quite a few shows with Mr. Nick. So you guys keep checking us out. We'll keep bringing you guys great content.
Yeah, so we'll also be back next Monday and Tuesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. next week. So please watch the Man Cave Monday night. And again, like we always say on the new party, always vote.
Always vote.
Introducing the new party. We live stream every Tuesday and Thursday p.m. Eastern Standard Time.